I've always made drawings, and it's something, I think when I first left college, it was a way of being able to just keep in touch with making things without actually having to physically do them, because I didn't have the money to do them or whatever. But over the years, it's just become a very important part of my kind of vocabulary. And I think really when I moved to Berlin in 1992 for a couple of years, and there I had the luxury of having a drawing studio, and it was really at that point that I really made a lot of drawings and really felt it became completely part of my experience as an artist. And to this day, everything that I make, I kind of worry through with drawings. I think about making the piece through the act of drawing, and then finally making the piece happen. Materials used in the drawings are often related to the piece that they're that I'm working out. I used for a long time Tipp-Ex, which is a correction fluid, and I used to draw with the correction fluid, and it was a way of almost like casting drawings, of building up layers with this material that could you could put one line on top of the other, and it would stay as this almost three-dimensional surface. I've also used wax in drawings. I use collage. I use different types of paper, from graph paper to watercolor paper to very, very cheap paper to very expensive paper. And each drawing is determined by the materials that I use to make it. One piece is directly related to the next. So the inspiration is sort of self-perpetuating. I work in a kind of cyclical way and often in series, and I think that the last thing I made informs the next piece, as well as of course life and day-to-day living. But the work, as an artist, you develop a vocabulary and you work very hard to make a vocabulary, and that's what I've been doing, and I use that to inspire me. With place, village, what I've tried to do, I think, is to use the light in order to cast the light within the piece and to make it sort of illuminated and three-dimensional. It's a different scale, but it's still, in fact, working with architecture and second-hand objects and space and colour and all of those things, and marks and traces and memories and emotion and physicality and all of those things that I've used in everything that I make. It just has taken on a kind of slightly different guise because it's ready-mades, which I've organised and inhabited in a space by using light, essentially. So the light is what's animating the work. All the light is doing is sort of casting the interior of the pieces, so you get to see the interior. Someone just asked me earlier, why isn't the whole thing brightly lit so you can see the houses? And I wanted it to be sort of poetic and dark, and you have to experience it in a different way. Well, I made a show a couple of years ago in Naples, and it was there that I kind of they had their first outing in a much smaller version of this. And I was thinking, in Naples in southern Italy, there's a history of presepes, which are these nativity scenes, and I'd been thinking a little bit about those, and knowing that the exhibition was going to be in February, so it got dark early, and then there were all sorts of issues involved with thinking about Herculaneum and Pompeii. And actually, when it was first shown in Naples, you could see it from the ground, but you could also see it from a balcony, so it was almost like you could fly amongst the rooftops as well.